What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. On the channel, in today's video we are going to be talking about Manchester United's last game that we went and played Arsenal in the Premier League, guys, when we went away from home and we went to the Emirates. So we made 3 changes from the last game against Southampton, talking about the starting 11. So we started with De Gea, Young, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw, Dalot, Fred, Matic, Pogba, Rashford and Lukaku. Overall reaction, this was a game, it was just one of these where it was a frustrating day, very frustrating day, because as you guys may have known the result by now, Manchester United went and lost this game 2-0. It was very frustrating, and it was just one of these days where, you know, we created a load of chances, we didn't take our chances, we didn't score on our chances, very frustrating. We hit the woodwork twice, we hit the post and the crossbar. We felt that, you know, we did enough to score a goal, but that just didn't happen. Why did that not happen? It's because sometimes strikers can put their chances away. Sometimes the strikers can't put their chances away. So this is football. This is what we deal with in football. First half, we started off slow. Arsenal did their good stuff. It was like the FA Cup game where they started off quick. They got on the front foot. They created early chances in the game. I think the team that we could see was getting the first goal was Arsenal, but then all the United fans would have gone like, you know, shit, we're 1-0 down, we can bring this back, we're Manchester United and we can probably win this game if we get another goal. You know, we had to make sure that whoever gets the next goal has to be Manchester United, and that did not happen because we didn't take our chances, which is frustrating because that's what happens in football sometimes. We felt like we did enough to score a goal, and it's just one of these days. Very frustrating day for Manchester United. It is what it is. You have to move on. First half, we probably thought we did enough to score a first goal. It didn't happen for us. Second half, we dominated the second half, I think. We were all around them. Arsenal had literally no energy in themselves. They struggled in the second half. We were all around them. We felt like, you know, we should have scored in the second half. A very frustrating day at the office. It was just one of these days. There's not much more you can do about it, where you've come into a game where you've created so many chances at goal and just none of them fell in the back of the net. It's frustrating. And this was a game also where Ollie reacted to the tactics way too late as well. When the tactics don't work, you've got to instantly make that reaction and think, you know, if these tactics are not working in the first 30 minutes, I've got to change things up. Elaborating on, we played players that were injured as well and weren't even match fit. So we played players like Matic, who came back from injury. This is what killed the game for us. What made the mistakes of the first 2 goals? Well, I think the only mistake we made was the first goal, and the reason why we let in that first goal was because there was no real pressure onto Xhaka. I don't think we all expected Xhaka to take that shot and he was going to go in the back of the net. Again, it was a goalkeeping error, but it wasn't only just because of De Gea's fault. You also got to blame the players who should have been putting the pressure onto Xhaka as well. And he was around Xhaka. Rashford was around Xhaka. Matic was around Xhaka. There was no real pressure, you know, to put him off. No one did anything to do anything about it. He got very lucky to score that goal for sure. Second goal, I think it was a referee error for sure, because there was no real contact. And Lacazette dived. I said it straight away, he dived on a different angle, he dived, but because the referee was behind Fred, it made it more realistic that there was contact, but there was no contact. And I think the referee will be kicking himself when he sees that back, and he's probably already seen it back and he's thought, yeah, that's not a penalty, because it wasn't even a penalty. You know, it wasn't good enough from the ref, but again, he's got assistant referees as well. He has got assistant referees, so really you should be blaming the referee and the assistant referee. So, but it's also the referee's decision as well. It's not only just the assistant referee, it's the referee's decision of what he sees. But at the end of the day, I can't wait for VAR to come in play next year. And if that gets played on VAR and a different angle, Lacazette would have got a yellow card for diving. So, you know, I think we know straight away that they didn't deserve that penalty. It came their way and it wasn't good enough. I think the performance, I think it was good, but just not good enough. It was just one of these days. Yeah, you just have to move on. I heard that the United fans came out still with good spirit, even though we've lost the first game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But, you know, there's still many games to go. There's still like 8 games remaining of this season. Anything can still happen. There's literally 3 points between us and Tottenham, and they're in 3rd place. And, you know, we're only 2 points behind Arsenal, and Arsenal have got to play 5 away games, and they're shite away from home as well. So we can't say, you know, that's an advantage. We've got to focus on ourselves. We have to probably take the last 8 games of this season now, treat them as an FA Cup final. We must treat these next 8 games and these games now to the rest of the season as FA Cup finals. If we don't treat them as FA Cup finals, we're not going to get top four, but I still believe that we can get top four. But that's also another question as well, and here as well. Diving into my first question, how do I feel after Ollie's first loss? I think it's weird to see Ollie lose his first Premier League game as Manchester United's manager, because obviously we're seeing a consistent run from Manchester United, because Ollie won like 10 games out of 13 in the Premier League, which is very good. We've got 8 games remaining now. I believe that Manchester United can go out there and win the next 8. We can do it because Ollie's won 10 out of the 13 that he's been in charge. So if Manchester United can go out there and win 10 games, I believe we can still get top 4. You know, that's good points as well, 10 games as well, because you get 3 points for that. So that's like 30 points, that. So it's amazing, you know. It's weird because we see consistent run of win of games, and to see your first loss, it's not like you have to feel completely down. You just have to have that team belief. You have to still have that team spirit in there. We should get back to winning ways. You know, against Watford, we must take this game and we must take it on the chin. And if we take it on the chin and move on, but these are games that put it in the past and just move on, because that's football, and that's what happens in football as well. It's one of these things where it feels weird because you see a manager just consistently winning games after game after game after game. But then again, Arsenal needed a big game. They got the confidence, but you know, I still believe that anything can still happen in this top 4. Who is to blame? In the game in general itself, you have to blame the first goal on De Gea. It's very rare to blame a goal on De Gea. You have to blame the first goal on De Gea. The second goal was just down to bad refereeing, and with the players and the manager being there, you have to blame the manager because it's his tactics, it's his game plan. Also, what let us down in this game was also, I don't know if I've got this on as a question, and no I don't, but what also let us down was because of the team selection as well, because we're playing players who are not match fit as well, and you have to balance the team right. You would have been thinking, oh, you should have been playing Pereira, you know, because he's been absolutely outstanding for the last couple of weeks. But you know, you've got to think on about the starting 11 as well. So a couple of reasons why we lost this game, because tactics weren't perfection. He reacted too late to the tactics. He reacted about 15 minutes to go of the game. The game plan was not up there. The starting 11 wasn't there as well, so it has to change. I think he will see that now, because we've lost 2 games back to back, and I believe that will change. Anything can still change. It happens in football. It really happens in football. And I've actually just answered that question, you know, why did we lose this game? It was because of the tactics, the game plan, and the starting 11 as well. So Ollie reacted too late to the tactics with about 15 minutes to go. But I think everyone wanted a positive to walk away from the Emirates and think, you know, shit, let's actually at least walk away with a goal and keep our heads held high. I heard that all the fans came out the stadium still bouncing. They still got their heads up. They still think, you know, anything can still happen. There's still like 8 games remaining of this season. So really, anything could still happen. I've really just answered 2 questions in one, really. So there you go. But anyway, moving on. Where did United went wrong in the Arsenal defeat? I've copied this from what Ollie said either in his press conference or the post-match after the game, and he said, we started slow. Maybe it was a backlash from Wednesday against PSG. We created chances. When they get the first goal, it's a different game. We created so many more chances compared to when we beat them in the FA Cup. We played a better game than we did back then, but that doesn't help. The result is like this. You're not scratching your head. Sometimes it happens. We hit the woodwork twice. We've got 4, 5 very big chances. Some days strikers take them, some days they don't. I can't remember any saves that David had to make, proper saves. Of course, the penalty, I think the referee will be disappointed when he sees this. I don't think it's a penalty. They didn't really carve us open. I agree, because I don't think it was a penalty myself. There was not much contact in there, so I think, like I said previously, Lacazette dived, and they got lucky, Arsenal, to win this game as well. But we were slow. The first 15 minutes, we were too slow to get up to them. But again, in the last couple of recent weeks, we have been slow. We've been thinking, yeah, let's defend a bit. And then when we feel comfortable and once we get possession, we'll go on playing aggressive football and counter-attacking football. And we needed some real urgency in the game as well. So this is why we've been starting slow in the last couple of games, because we think, right, let's defend a bit, let's wait until we get possession, and then once we get the possession back, let's go for it. And that's why, because it could be because the opposition have got the advantage to kick off first because they have possession, and it's all about the players turning up as well. They have to fight of getting that ball back as well. We never put them under pressure, and he had to hit that ball. I think that means that, like that was the thing. He says we never put them under pressure. The first goal is an example why we let that first goal happen, because Rashford, there was no real pressure. There was no real pressure from him. There was no real pressure from Matic as well. He's not even match fit as well. He's referring back to the first goal because he had time to hit that ball, and he had so much space and time, and no one put him under pressure. That's what happened in that first goal. We got to be ready. It's one of them where we weren't really at it. One of those days where you have to dust yourself down. We have a good reaction. We have Wolves in the FA Cup quarter-final. It's good. A game to look forward to. We lost that. I thought we created some great chances, but we just didn't take them. Sometimes, as a striker, I know more than anyone that you can miss chances. So that's why behind all that, just what went wrong really, and that's what Ollie said in his post-match interview really. A couple of more questions that I've written down here. Did United do enough to score a goal? Definitely. We created enough chances to score a goal, but it just didn't happen. It was a frustrating day. One of these days, onwards and upwards, you have to move on. Is there still a chance for United to get top four? Like I was referring to from previously, we're only 2 points behind Arsenal. Arsenal have still got to go Leicester away, Burnley away, Wolves away. Anything could happen there, They've got to play 5 away games. If they drop at least 2 points or something like that, or drop 3 points, they'll think, shit, United are right behind us. We cannot make a mistake. We've got to get a good consistent run of games now, and we cannot drop points. That's what they'll be saying now, and we can't drop points now as well. I still believe that we can get a top 4. We're only 2 points behind Arsenal and only 3 points behind Tottenham. Tottenham have got Liverpool next, and they've got to play City. So let's see how those 2 games go down. But it's wide open for Manchester United to get the top 4. I think Arsenal are probably going to get the top 4 for sure, but I probably can believe that we can probably get in front of Arsenal, because Arsenal, they've got it tough. They've got to play 5 away games, so let's see how it all plans out for them, because they are not that great away from home. This season, United have been winning games at home and away since Ollie's come in. Let's see, like I said, Ollie's won 10 games out of the 13, and we've got 8 games to go. If we believe that we can win 10 games under Ollie, there's only 8 games remaining, so if we can win 10, why not go and win the last 8 games really? We've already won 10 games under Ollie, we can go and win the next 8, What needs to change for the next game against Watford? In general, I think the defence needs to be better, because the last 2 games we've lost back-to-back for several different reasons, because in the Wolves game it was different, it was just poor defending. But then in the Arsenal game, that 1 goal just cost us because there was just no pressure onto Xhaka. So I think everything has to be on point for the next game against Watford, because we still played a good game of football. It was just a frustrating day for us at the end of the day. We got robbed from the referee as well. The second goal should never have happened anyway. Will Ollie still get the United job? We've been hearing for the last couple of weeks that Ollie's going to get the job while the international break's on, and the international break is on right now. Is he going to get the job? I think people are saying, wait until we get top 4, and if we don't get top 4, he's going to have to go and we might have to find somebody else. But I still believe that we can get top 4. If we get top 4, Ollie will be on. A definite for sure. I believe that Manchester United will get top 4. And if we get top 4, Ollie will stay on. But if we don't get top 4, Ollie will be out, and we'll probably be finding a new manager in the summer. But I don't think that will happen. I think Ollie will want to stay at Manchester United, and he knows that there's 8 games remaining. We've got to put in better performances. We just hope it goes all our way now for the next 8 games, and we've got to take these next 8 games as FA Cup finals. And if we do that, play well, put on better performances, and we just need to see that end product in the final third out of the front 3, and we dig deep, have to really go for these next 8 games. And we just got to concentrate on ourselves. Don't worry about Arsenal and Tottenham. That will come. But we just got to focus on ourselves. We cannot look at the table too much. We focus on ourselves. Get 3 points out of the next 8 games. We can get top 4. I believe that we can get top 4. And I know we can do it. I tell you that for a fact. Now, moving on to the substitutions. We only made 2. Dalot went off a Martial. I'll talk about Dalot's performance. could not sustain his momentum from Paris down the right, provided the odd half chance but seemed more at ease at right wing. Not too bad, but he wasn't that great in this game as well. Matic went off for Greenwood. Talk about Matic's performance. Failed to vindicate his real call at expense of Scott McTominay. Looked exactly like a player who had not played in almost 3 weeks. He wasn't match fit. Oh well, not our game. We move on onwards and upwards. We've got Watford next. Watford, they're 8th in the table. Watford, they're a great team, To be fair, they've got a lot of quality players. I think this is a game that we have to be ready for. We cannot switch off. I think, if we switch off and they get on one good counter-attack, and if we switch off at the back, they'll score. They've only won one game in the top 6, and that's against Tottenham. So really, we beat Watford early this season at the Vicarage Road. We beat them 2-1, so we got a good result there against Jose Mourinho. So new manager, so we should beat Watford, but we shouldn't really get too excited for this one because we have to bounce back. It's not going to be easy for us. It's not going to be easy for Watford because they'll want to bounce back after their loss to City. Teams come up to Old Trafford, they still put on a good fight. I think Watford will be going for it, but we have to really dig deep. We're struggling with injuries at the minute. I have to say, touch wood and fingers crossed that our strikers are going to be fit. The likes of Rashford, Martial and Lukaku, they all came out of England, France and Belgium all injured, so we need some good injury news during the week. So I hope we can get those 3 back, but it will be a big loss if we don't have Martial and Lukaku there and Rashford and Sanchez. So we've got to have someone back for the game, and let's hope they recover well. Let's hope they can train with the team as well during the week. This is a game that we're going to be physically and mentally prepared for. We've got to be ready for this one because they will give us a good fight. It's at Old Trafford, so we hope for a bounce back. We need a reaction out of the players. We've lost back-to-back games, but I believe that we can bounce back against Watford. It's not going to be easy. We should do it. They've got some great players as well. The likes of Gray, Success, Capu, Dini and Delafeu. So they've got a lot of quality in there. But United need to go out there with the desire to go out there and to go and win the game. And if we can do that, I believe that we can win this game against Watford. If we really dig deep in this game and go for it from start to finish, we can beat these. We cannot get too excited for this one, but we must walk away from this one with the 3 points, put the pressure onto Arsenal and see what happens, because if we win, we go above Arsenal, so we shouldn't worry too much about the table. We've got to focus on ourselves for this game, and if we get the job done, we get the 3 points, we go above Arsenal. But let's see, because Arsenal do play Newcastle. Newcastle are just finding their form now as well, so hopefully Newcastle put on a good game against Arsenal. But let's see, anything could happen in football. Hope you guys have enjoyed another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new. See you guys in the video the next couple of days, and peace.